Yo, how's it going, guys? Raisins here, back with another video, and today we are talking about level 2. It's such an important part of the lane. It decides a tremendous amount of what happens afterwards, and there's a lot of small things you can think about to increase your chances of winning the level 2, work with your AD carry to get push, and maybe not even just kill them, but just to secure a crab for your jungle. But there's a lot of things that you can add to your gameplay to make your level 2 a lot stronger. I have 3 examples here. I'm going to run through some of them, some of the good things we did, some of the bad things we did, and hopefully you guys can learn a couple of pointers about it. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help, and I stream every evening, 8 p.m. UK time, so if you want to come check it out, feel free. Anyway, let's do it. So in this example, I have the scoreboard up so you can see the team comps, but it's a melee versus melee matchup. It is Alistar versus Braum. Now, a couple of quick points. I don't have Aftershock, I have Phase Rush, so keep that in mind. It is significantly weaker level 1 to have Phase Rush because I can't really proc it easily. Secondly, they have Guardian. Guardian is really powerful level 1. It basically just tanks 2 or 3 auto attacks worth of damage. It is very strong level 1, even into Aftershock. So what do you do against Guardian? Well, if you can pop Guardian early, just keep in mind it's got a massive cooldown. It's roughly twice the length of Aftershock. I think it is exactly twice the length of Aftershock, almost. So keep in mind it's got a very long cooldown, so if you can take it away with a ranged auto attack, that's awesome. You're doing really good. And then the second thing is we have Kai'Sa into Varus. Now, the jungle matchup is also what you need to think about, but AD carry matchup usually dictates whether or not you can hard shove, because a lot of the time, you know, your AD carry will have one spell that they can use on the wave. Kai'Sa pushes very quickly. Varus pushes at a decent rate, but generally Kai'Sa one-shots the first 3 minions, and she can just spam Q on wave to get push. So in this matchup, all I'm thinking about is after level 2, I don't think we can actually trade anymore. So I'm going to play this example out, and I'll let the audio play out as well, so you guys can just hear what I'm saying in game, and then I'll talk about the level 2 afterwards with it muted. Cool. Oh, I tanked it, Saj. Well, at least I didn't tank the E. So, as you can see from that level 2, pretty straightforward. I had a very straightforward game plan. Now, there's a couple of things that I did before I flashed in on Varus, and I'll explain to you exactly why I flashed in on Varus. But essentially, what I'm trying to do here is, during the windows in which we are strong, I have to secure the lane control. And how do I secure lane control against Braum? Well, number one thing you need to realize is once Braum has shield, we don't win trades. We just don't win trades. That's a matchup knowledge thing. It depends on what your matchup. You need to identify if you do win level 2s, and I'll show you an example later on where we do win the level 2, even, you know, specifically with both abilities up, so I don't need to worry that much about going super hard level 1. But in this situation, if Braum gets shield, my Kai'Sa won't be able to land any damage on Varus, and I would get CC'd when I try and combo them, so we would just die. So what I'm trying to do here is basically trade flashes with Varus. That's the number one priority for me, is to trade flashes with Varus. Why? Because once I am level 2 and Varus has no flash, my Kai'Sa can flash over Braum, and she can access Varus much easier than if Varus had flash. If Varus and Kai'Sa both have flash, and I try and combo Varus, Braum's going to shield, and then Varus is most likely just going to disengage with flash, or even re-engage on me with Braum stacks. So, as you can see, I make my way into the brush, and I tank a Braum Q. But keep in mind, this is the next important thing is cooldowns. If my Kai'Sa is never at risk of being flashed on by Braum or tanking a Braum Q, then she's totally safe to flash after Varus. So I actually see a point where Braum is massively out of position, and I punish. This is my one window to go in, like I said. Even though I have Phase Rush, even though it's not ideal, this is my one window to go in. And trading flashes, my Kai'Sa is low HP a little bit, yes, but she has access to the wave, so she can lifesteal a bit. I can heal her with my passive. And then once we're level 2, I have Hex Flash, and that's a really dangerous thing for a Varus with no flash. And then we go in for a trade here, and we manage to get a kill because Braum didn't respect the level 2. This is an ideal level 2, and then there's one or two more things that you need to think about before you go in for this kind of aggressive trades, and that's the jungle. Enemy has Sejuani jungle, and both bot lanes leashed. I leashed red buff, Sejuani got leash on blue buff. Does Sejuani want to come bot lane level 2? No. Does Sejuani have this clear speed to gank us level 2? Not really either. And I think me and Kai'Sa both knew that, so we were very happy to play super aggro even though Sejuani started blue buff. So that's something you have to think about. And it's really important as well, because if that Sejuani was a Xin Zhao, I maybe would have rethought how I played that level 2. I wouldn't maybe have not flashed in. I would have maybe warded earlier, something like that. All right, so this is the second example. I am just going to quickly play it through, and then we'll talk about it. Some of these names, man, I swear, they're all like 12-year-old girls. So as you can see, there's an invade in the top side. I land the hook on Thresh. Thresh flashes away. Cool. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, they still have heal. Not the best hook. Damn it, man. And it's Jinx doing Jinx things. She's just hard shoving the wave. As you can see, we're actually behind in level 2 because Jinx is pushing the wave very quickly. Okay. My Kai'Sa's not using her Q properly, so we're not going to be able to get level 2 advantage. Kind of sucks. And as you can see, I'm pinging to go in because I think I see a window when Jinx walks up. And we get Jinx flag. And that's the end of the level 2. Why is she flashing? Yeah. My Kai'Sa also ends up wasting her flash, as you can see. Not really the best AD carry. I think she was extremely tilted and she was typing for most of the game. But one thing you need to understand is this is a significantly lower elo game than the first example. So, you know, we'll give them some slack. I'm not going to blame them too much. I wrote a bunch of stuff down about this example. Number one is we didn't leash and neither did they. There was an invade in the top side. So I'll just show you guys the invade. There was a, Ivern ended up invading Nunu, and I think Nunu ends up losing his buff, and it's not very good. In fact, I think he actually ends up almost dying. So Nunu's kind of out of the game. He's out of early game. Ivern is going to most likely go to his camps, probably his red buff, because he's just, he wants to secure triple buff. That's just my guess. He could go anywhere. He could do a lot of things. But the one thing is both bot lanes know, and we start fighting immediately because we both think we're strong enough. Now, Thresh plays the matchup badly. He wastes his Flay, which he shouldn't. So for any Thresh players out there, when you're against Pyke, your Flay is very, very strong against Pyke because you can instantly interrupt Pyke's channeled Q. So just keep that in mind. But I mean, he doesn't play it like perfectly, and then he gets a super hard punish. So as you can see, he has to burn Flash. Now, there's a couple of things wrong with how we played this. And this is actually something that, even I could learn from. But my Kai'Sa also needs to pick up a couple of things. This is significantly lower elo, so she's making a lot of mistakes. One is this guy should be dead. As soon as I land hook on Thresh, Kai'Sa needs to start kiting forward. Now, if you notice, she's very hesitant. She doesn't seem to want to commit, and I'm not really sure why. I guess she somehow thought that, Thresh was a danger. But as you can see, she's running away, even though Thresh just used Flay on me and has literally no cooldown. She's actually moving away from Thresh. Instead of walking down, she walks up. First mistake. Second mistake, she doesn't flash after him. And again, she turns around instead of just confirming the kill on Thresh. But what this actually does is Jinx just starts hitting wave, and I don't hit wave fast enough. Now, the important part is we just got Thresh flash. I don't have Ignite, but they do have heal. But the next part of this lane is where we make a lot of mistakes. Me and Kai'Sa don't push together, and secondly, Kai'Sa doesn't use her Q in that optimal way. You heard me say it in the game. And basically, Kai'Sa Q does maximum like 200% damage to low health minions. It does extra damage to low health minions. So she's using it in a very suboptimal way, I guess you could say, where she's queuing. As you can see here, she's going to queue like very high HP minions. She only got one minion, which was low. And she's not really utilizing the strength of her Q to rapidly push waves. You get the creeps low, and then you can one-shot 3 of them pretty much instantly. And also, I'm not pushing the wave with her. Now, we do end up getting a relatively decent situation because I land a hook onto Jinx, and then I trade flashes. Now, I have traded my flash and my Ignite for both of their flashes, and we should be in a good position. My Kai'Sa panic flashes at the end there, thinking they could follow up. Again, this is maybe some advice for players who see the Kai'Sa and see a lot of what their play is in their own games. You don't need to panic flash. Remember that people's cooldowns are relatively high level 1. Remember that if they've just used flashes defensively, can they even chase you? Even if Kai'Sa tanks that Jhin W, can they actually chase Kai'Sa? Probably not, because I have hook. And Kai'Sa has exhaust and heal. There's multiple things that she can do to actually turn the fight and just auto attack Jinx to death. So just keep in mind, cooldowns level 2 are incredibly important. But that is an example of something we didn't do. We didn't capitalize on the level 2 advantage hard enough. And there's a couple of other things I wrote, which is the junglers fought topside. Nunu got his buff stolen. Nunu's level 2. He's actually pathing like towards rates. He doesn't really want to fight right now. So I have to take that into mind. And with the the situation we have, I actually don't want to push, even though I think it's possible to kill them 2 versus 2. So we actually make the the decision to just not push and to just chill. And I'm fine with that, especially after I saw how hesitant Kai'Sa was to fight. I just make the choice not to push. And then I also wrote down that I expected a gank in this game. Now, you should be thinking about this in all games, but I mean, Ivern invaded Nunu. Nunu's level 2, Ivern's level 3 or level 4. I expected a gank, and it's pretty obvious that Ivern wants to fight Nunu on his camps, maybe take Scuttle Crabs, whatever. Can we fight with a level 2 Nunu against a level 4 Ivern? Probably not. So I just give up push and we just chill, and that was pretty much how the early game went. So, yep, that was the second example, and let's hop into the third example. Now, I'll play it through and just talk about the important points. So I'm Pyke here. I think if we walk into them, Rengar is going to walk from red buff and kill us. So yeah, I'm talking about the jungle here. Pyke into Brand. They have a Tristana. We have a Sivir. As you can imagine, we get pretty hard outranged by Brand, at least me. Brand outranges me, but if I can land a hook, we could take control of this bush potentially land some poke. So as you can see there, I'm saying I can take control of the brush because they leashed and we didn't. My character is very strong in a brush because I can channel hook and they don't know whether I'm channeling or not. So as you can see, I do exactly that. I channel hook. And here's the first mistake. Now, this is a mistake a lot of low elo players make, and I notice this extremely hard when I'm playing on this account. This is an account I'm getting through, climbing through Diamond right now. And the AD carries do not use their abilities together with my abilities. They throw them out just completely blindly, when in reality, Sivir landed one tick of her Q on Brand. But if she had just waited for my hook to confirm and comboed her Q with my Q, Brand probably would be half HP. He would be significantly lower. And it would be much harder for them to actually take the next trade, which you'll see in a second. Cool. So as you can see, they're kind of stepping up. And then I make a mistake here. So I actually start channeling Q in a really terrible position. And I just shouldn't channel Q. There's too many minions in front of me. And, you know, Brand has warded this bush. Okay trade. But as you can see, Brand is tanking like 3 minions. So in the end, it was a bad hook by me, but Brand also made a mistake. My Sivir's spamming Q on the wave, which is really annoying. There we go. Yep, that was super good Q by Sivir. That was like a Q that she couldn't wait for mine, so she just had to use. Very good. And then something important just happened right here. Q on the wave, which is really annoying. There we go. Right. So right there is another thing that a lot of AD carries do in, like, you know, mid diamond, low diamond, and below. They, like, this Tristana, if she just eased the wave, they actually secure level 2. And they actually push us off the wave and they zone us because my Sivir is actually low HP. But what Tristana does is she panics and she gets scared that I can hook her or that I want to trade on her. Keep in mind, I'm level 1 Pyke. I can't do much against these two players if they have minions in front of them. So I don't know why she E'd me. It was a bit random. But, you know, these are the kind of mistakes that you can capitalize on. And a lot of AD carries will make these mistakes where they just randomly waste their cooldowns instead of going on the wave. So, as you can see, I don't care about losing HP because we're about to get level 2. Flash on Brand. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And, okay, they're level 2 as well, but Brand has to react with his flash. And as I said, that you need to know, kind of understand the matchup and make sure that if you trade flashes, is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Like, if I trade flashes with Brand, it's pretty bad for Brand because I can land like a hook and then it's pretty much just a guaranteed kill every time. So you just have to keep that in mind, and it's kind of matchup dependent. And then the last part about this whole thing, in every single level 2, after all of this discussion, is jungle. Can you get ganked? So in my notes, I wrote that the junglers, like, they got a leash on bot lane, but my jungler started topside. So my jungler is going to be going for bot crab. So we actually made the choice, as you can see here, I'll play it out. We made the choice to push and to base. And my Gwen is on Gromp. We don't feel like we could have gotten ganked on that push, and there's a reason, is because their jungler started bot side. It's that simple. You just need to think about that before you decide what to do with your wave. And then my jungler and me can then go and make a play. And that's pretty much how you should be approaching level 2s. And as your matchup knowledge increases, you will have way more opportunities to punish people. You'll start noticing, if you watch your replays, how little people get punished for cooldowns in pretty much every elo of League of Legends. I only notice people very heavily punishing cooldowns like consistently in like mid diamond and above. Below that, it's just a free-for-all. Nobody remembers that people have cooldowns, and they respect enemy champions even though the enemy champ has 0 cooldowns, because they just see the champion and think of it as a threat instead of thinking of the abilities as a threat. So hope this was useful. Hope you guys could learn something from this. I'm going to keep trying to make videos like this every single day, informative videos, hopefully to give you guys tips and tricks to climb, how challengers think about the game, And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe. It really does help. And as always, I stream every day, UK time, 8 p.m. So you can come hang out, ask questions, and watch me play my games live. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Have a nice day and good luck in solo queue. Peace.